The GPU market never fails to blow me away, and not in a good way. Something that AMD now joined in on. I was hoping that this was just going to be reserved for Nvidia. For the life of me, I cannot understand how GPU launches keep getting worse and worse. And with AMD's recent release, it is somehow less performant than the generation beforehand. Of course, there's a chance of driver issues, but you would hope that these would be worked out before launch, right? Of course, these issues are not across the board, as we'll see in some later benchmarks, but it's something that still shouldn't happen. There should be a pretty significant performance gain from generation to generation. One of the main positives that I'll give to AMD is how they're not stingy with their video RAM like Nvidia is. The 4070, for example, simply does not have enough of a buffer. And the 16 gigabytes on the 7800 XT is sure to make this last far longer than the Nvidia counterpart. This is especially the case when you're running at higher resolutions. 12 gigs was okay maybe 2 or 3 years ago, but it really isn't anymore, and I've seen many games use far more than that. Another item that's been pretty lackluster is the ray tracing performance. Given that this is something that's on console now, it is really important that they get this ironed out. Hopefully, some later driver patches will make this work much better. From a technical perspective, there's been some questionable changes to this generation. Notably, the reduction in compute units and shader cache. They did try to make up for it with transistor count and bus speed, but in many cases, this does not translate into real-world performance. Another positive is that there is lower power consumption in this card, but we don't want that to be at the expense of performance. Although the value proposition of this card is pretty good compared to other ones on the market, it's not the generational bump that we'd be looking for, and if you have a 6800 XT, it makes absolutely no sense to splurge for this. If we take a look at some benchmarks from Gamers Nexus, we could see that in many cases, the old generation outperforms the new one by around 5%, which is significant. I've never seen stats like this where the rasterized performance is less, so it does seem that this launch may have been a little bit rushed to market. I'd love to know what all of you think of this. I've seen many GPU launches, and this one is extremely unique. I am sure AMD will fix this, but we have to wait until later drivers come out. In the meantime, let's definitely talk about it in the comments. And of course, if you like this video, please do like and subscribe. It really helps me out a ton. And I look forward to seeing you all in the next video.